ever. Okay. It's going to be a great day. I'm on the wrong page. So, good morning. Good morning. And how do you do? I'd like to introduce myself to you. My name is JoJo Wood. I used to do cheer. Y'all remember that? I was never a cheerleader, but I remember that cheer. So I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you enjoyed. If you watched the Super Bowl, I hope you enjoyed it. I kept saying I'm gonna go watch the halftime, and I got so caught up in what I was doing, I missed. I think I saw the last 5 minutes of the game. So there's that. Good morning, Margaret. So y'all, I want to tell y'all this real quick. And happy Valentine's Day, Galentine's Day to all of you beautiful women out there. Valentine's Day, I have mixed emotions. It's my father's birthday, and he passed away. It's been godly 11, 12 years. And he was born on Valentine's Day, passed away on 4th of July. So I told him he came in with love and went out with fireworks. So I have mixed emotions about Valentine's Day, but that's all good. So good morning. Please make sure you share the show because sharing is caring. If your friends and family don't have Facebook, send them over to the YouTube channel. They can binge watch all the Phyllis Morning shows over there, as well as subscribe YouTube. Thank you for looking out for me. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell for your notifications. Don't forget we have the podcast, we have the movie, we have the books, we have all the things. Yeah, Margaret, I was in the zone of creating some content. So there's that. So on this great day, and I want you to have the most amazing day ever. Uh, he expected a party regardless. You're right, Margaret. He did. I hope you enjoyed the show all last week. And y'all, I went back as I was looking through my notes because I take notes of the quotes and the thoughts of the day and the things that we talk about. We started talking about the circle of me back in August and September. And so that's how long we've been talking about the circle of me. So we're going to keep going. Yes, we have all the things. So today, and I was going to label this self-death or die to self, but it is Valentine's Day. So I figured y'all wouldn't want to hear about death, but we're going to talk about it. I just wanted to label it something different. So let's talk about self-life or dying to self every day. This is something we have to do every day because if we are, as we're changing and swapping our thought processes out and all of our things daily, we have to not pick up our habitual thought process. Meaning every day I have to be mindful that I'm not thinking the same way that I used to and that this is different. And because I have to be mindful of that, you have to die to self every day. Meaning I have to allow the old JoJo to die away in order for the new one to live. In order for the new one to live, I've got to break that habitual thought process. And that thought process looks like this is how it's always been. This is what I've always done. This is how it's always happened. I know people. I know what this is going to happen. And you may assume you know things, but you don't. But because you're so stuck in this part of it, you have your habitual thoughts that will keep you over here. Yes, it is all about the circles, Margaret. So if I'm dying to self every day, I have to be mindful every day of my conscious pathways, right? And my habitual thoughts, meaning when you wake up, the things that always come to the forefront of your mind. Oh my Lord, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. And you immediately go to the negative. That's your habitual thought. That's your habitual man or woman inside of you that says, JoJo, this is what we've always done. Why are we changing now? I don't want to change. And some people, right? And I want to be clear, as you are dying to self every day and changing your habitual thought in your mind and your thought process, you will meet people who are not on the same wavelength as you. And they may not understand how you do that. How do you change? And then if you're not careful, they will insert their limiting belief process onto you assuming that it's right. Y'all, my ear is itching. Sorry. Simply because it's the way that they know. It may work for them, it may not work for you. And everybody has got to be okay with having a different thought process to arrive at the same destination. So if the destination is going to be the same, the thought process to get there is our individual journey. But it is our habitual thoughts that is going to make sure that we arrive where we want to arrive. Now, again, if I don't give my words and my breath direction, if I don't tell my thoughts where to go, if I'm not understanding the whole process, I'm going to go with my habitual mind, which is what I've always done. We're creating that mold, we're filling it, and we're going to fill it with what we've always filled it with, because that was the thing. That's what we've always done. So when you die to self, when you're thinking about that every day, you're thinking, I want you to think about, and this is what I have to think about, what am I continuously doing that is not serving or working for me? And if I no longer want that, what mode am I now going to create? And then when I come to that junction to understand that I'm creating something different, am I trying to force the old me into a new way? Or am I going to let the old me die so the new one can live? We can't put old things in new things. So I have to die to self daily. And that means I've got to be mindful of my habitual thoughts and the things that continuously are showing up for me. Whatever that may be. You have to be conscious and aware enough to come to that conclusion. If you're not, your ego is going to trip you up. Some of us will start a growth journey and we will assume that I've gotten the tip of the iceberg. That's all I need to know. We won't go any deeper. Or because I've always thought this way and it's worked for me, it has got to be right. And so when somebody or a person, place, a thing introduces a new thought, your ego can take over and say, hell no, absolutely not, because this is the way. I'm telling you, this is truth. It may be true for you. It doesn't make it true for everyone around you. And your ego can trip you up on this growth process to the point where you are assuming you're creating something new when you're not. You said you were, but you're filling it with old things, with your habitual thoughts. This is how people always do. This is how people, I'm telling you, this is what I know. And you're filling it with old shit and wonder why it smells. It smells because all you did was put another coat of paint on it and filled it with the same thing. Inside of that is your ego. That can be detrimental to your health and your well-being, your mindset, your relationships, your life. And there are some who are dead set on holding on to that ego and would rather die with the ego daily than admit to growth or change, and or change the habitual thought, and or look at the mold that's being created and fill it with something good instead of something bad. That pull is so strong, right? The pull to create something new is amazing, but the pull to fill it with old things is even stronger because they become your comfort zone. It is a thing that protects you the most. I know what people think. I know how they're going to treat me. I'm just waiting for them to do it. That comforts me. And because it comforts me, I feel my new mold with it too. Well, guess what happens when you take that new mold and fill it with old shit? The new mold says, wait a minute. What is that smell? I don't like this. And the new mold will break away because it was filled with old things. The new mold will refuse to hold it. The ego will say, but these are all the things that I know to be true. People are always this way. People are always mean. People are always hurtful. Life is always crazy. this, and this, and they will hold to that. And inside of that is wrapped up in their ego, because their ego says life can't possibly be different. It can't possibly be a new way of thinking. It couldn't possibly be this way. So because I can't comprehend it and see it that way, I'm going to say I want new, but fill it with the old. And then when the new mold breaks, I'm then going to say, told you so, JoJo. I told you that shit wouldn't work. It's because you brought the shit with you. Because it is your ego and it brings you comfort. It brings you comfort to always be right. It brings you comfort to always tell people off. It brings you comfort to always say it with your chest. And you take all of that and you put it in a new mold. And when the new mold breaks away, because it wasn't built to handle that, you can say, I told you that mold wasn't about nothing. I told you this is how people always are. No. You poured heavy shit into a mold that wasn't meant to carry that. Your ego is wrapped up in that. And your ego is going to either allow you to live, honey, or rush you to a quick death. The choice is yours. But it is your habitual thought and your habitual mind that will lead you to that destination. Your ego is wrapped up in that. And if you're not willing to free yourself from some of your ego for just a moment, it will cause not only you to smell, but everything around you to smell. And then, friend, you will absolutely be right about everything that you thought. Don't you think about this in terms of people who complain, your family who doesn't want to change, a boo thing, a side piece, your man, your woman. Think about it in terms of that. Your career, your job, your mindset. Think about that thing that just refuses to change. And is it wrapped up in ego? And does it smell? Am I trying to force it into something new when the new was never meant to hold that? Because new means I have a different mindset. I'm dying to self. My habitual mind is not going to listen. This was such a strong part of my growth process, that especially when it came to relationships, every man is not like that. My habitual mind said, yes, it is. I had to die to self, create a new thought process to fill a different mold. Relationships will have a hard time working if you listen, there's nothing wrong with bringing your experience and your history to the table. If I'm creating a new mold, at some point, I have to allow this thing to fall away so that the new mold can feel. So I couldn't look at the new mold and bring in every man is this way. Every friend is this way. Every job is this way. I had to stop my habitual mind. I had to believe in everything that I was creating, because my mold, I am comes to create, not to destroy. So if I say, I wish, oh my Lord, I wish this would work, and I create a mold to fill it, but then I fill it with all the things that made it not work, my word can't come back to me void. I knew it. I told you. Yeah, you did. And you created it. So my habitual mind, I had to shut it off to understand this mold that I was feeling, this mold that I wanted to have a conscious pathway. So my habitual mind, I eventually had to cut off and say, JoJo, if you want different, you're going to have to think different. But I know that when this lines up, this is what happens. Has that always been true? Is this a point of growth for you where you need to say, let me look at this and see where I can grow from it? Has it always been other people, or is it me? And then I can grow into that. So on this most amazing day, I want you to be peaceful, period, because there's absolutely nothing after that. There's nothing after that. As you die to yourself today, on today's Love Day, happy Valentine's Day, happy Galentine's Day. Think about your habitual mind. Think about that thing that shows up constantly that you're allowing, that you just don't have the energy to fight because I just know it to be true. Everybody's like that, but you say you want something different. I want to be a millionaire. I want this. I want a different relationship, but you feel it with your habitual mind of what you've always known. And so you have to die to self every day, meaning you have to allow this person to pass away so that a new person can grow in there. Relate this to your weight release journey. It's not weight loss, because when you lose something, you go find it. That's how your mind works. When you use certain words, your mind assumes it was something that we desperately needed. Have you ever saw people who lose weight and then gain it back? Or they may lose it for a little while. As soon as a trigger hits, they gain it back. Because my body said I lost something and I need to go find it. Your words are so powerful. So on your weight release journey, because we don't need that, right? You can't release weight doing the same. I can't release weight still eating a bag of potato chips and French fries and a cheeseburger and all the things right in a row. I'm not going to release that. It's just not going to go anywhere. So I can't say, "Oh, I want to release weight," and then I don't die to self, and I bring old stuff in there. I am releasing weight. I'm not working out. I'm not going to eat better. I'm not going to take my health seriously. I told you I couldn't release this weight. I told you I couldn't do it. You're most welcome, Miss Rivera. So on this great, most amazing day, as you die to self, I want to release this weight. Today, I'm just going to do one thing differently than I normally do. Just for the day. And I don't want us to get caught up with all the things. Y'all know my practice. Just for the day. Just for this moment. Just for this hour. Just for this minute. I choose a different pathway. I choose a different thought. I choose to lay my ego down just for a second, just to see the possibilities of other things. Some people, their ego is choking the life out of them because they have to be right. They have to be right. They have to be the woman. They have to be the man. They got to say the thing. They got to do all of it. It's got to be their way or the highway. And it's killing them softly. And when they die daily, it is with the recognition of, I told you so, it wasn't going to work. Oh, but did it really? Is that really how it was going to work or not work? So on this great day, I want you to have the most amazing day ever. I want you to pay attention to your habitual thoughts. Where they're leading you. What is your understanding of them? Is your ego stopping you? In your I am statement, are you choking yourself to death with your ego? So if we are dying to self daily, what part of me am I saying I can no longer hold on to because I want the better part of me to grow? You know, like plants and trees, sometimes you have to prune them, cut away the dead leaves so that the new ones have room to grow. There's no room inside of you to grow when you bring all the old things. So if you're not dying to self of that habitual mind that says, this is how it's always been. I told you I couldn't release this weight. I told you there wasn't no good men. I told you there wasn't this. I told you I couldn't have a good job. I told you. Your ego will kill you slowly. And you will say that it is true. Never once thinking to acknowledge or think about the possibilities if I had just pruned off the dead, if I had just died to self in this instance, to think a different thought. If in my I am statement I didn't fill it with shit. So that now when I say I am wealthy, I am healthy, and it's not working, and I wonder why it smells and it falls apart, and I say, oh, I told you I couldn't do it. Now I understand why. Now I understand. It's because my ego said it had to be this way or that way. And because I have to be right. Because I have to say the last thing. Because I have to have the last thing. Because I am that I am. You hold on to that. But my question is it working for you though? Is it giving what it was supposed to give? Do you have that warm, cozy feeling? And for some of us, complaining and being right is that warm, cozy feeling. And I had to learn the hard way a long time ago that I don't always have to be right. And even if I am, I don't always have to tell you that I am. I don't have to tell you that I'm right. I don't have to come out and say, I told you, I knew. I don't have to do that. It's not my place, it's not my space. My place and my space is in my I am statement. And to continue in the affirmative of that. To be conscious of my pathway. Because if at any point of I am feeling my mode, I am not conscious of my pathway of my habitual thought, I will find myself sitting over there with you, doing things I said I wasn't going to do anymore. Oh, look, what? Miss Vera, Jesus. It's where I hate going. It is a painful place. But listen, I go there and I talk to myself. I talk to myself frequently. And you talk to yourself too. You just don't acknowledge that you do. And I say, listen, this part is hurting me. I'm not sure why I'm feeling this way. Oh, if JoJo, you cry now, it shows that you are weak. Only in me being vulnerable do I understand the strength of my power.